Single European Sky, a vital initiative to unify European air navigation efficiency and safety measures. Measures worth an estimated €5 billion in savings a year, which the EPP Group has done much to guide through Parliament.
Pilots complain that going from A to B by flying over sea in the EU's jigsaw puzzle of an airspace remains a stressful experience. It finally took an ash-spewing volcano a few years ago to hasten the cleanup of Europe's crowded airways.
The Icelandic volcanic ash eruption in spring 2010 and huge resulting delays at European airports speeded up long-standing calls to unify European air traffic control management, both for commercial and military flights. It also led to the creation of a European Crisis Coordination Group. EPP Group Vice Chairman and lead negotiator in Parliament on Single European Sky is Marian-Jean Marinescu.
You see what is going on if you are not prepared to have a centralized system of traffic control, to have a centralized group to manage the crisis. This could happen, to keep on ground thousands of people that cannot go back home, that cannot go to their business, and a lot of losses. So it was a good sign that we have to do something.
Lack of pan-European coordination of airspace has cost an estimated €150 billion in lost GDP and has contributed to 150 million extra tons of CO2 pumped into the air over the past decade.
Brussels-based Eurocontrol, which acts as an intergovernmental liaison on airspace issues, is committed to safer air traffic management, especially in times of crisis like the Icelandic volcano incident. Eurocontrol's head of air traffic management is Bo Radeborn.
The Single European Sky justifies harmonization, and we're trying to at least convince states, if they feel they need to prevent flights from taking place for a certain reason like this, that they should apply the same model, because we have 3 different models of not allowing flights to be flown, which create a lot of confusion among the airspace operator.
Europe's airspace remains one of the most congested in the world. Pilots fly through a multitude of airspace changes for even short-haul routes, such as Brussels to Geneva, handed off to as many as 5 national air traffic control authorities over a flight of only 80 minutes. The new initiative calls for functional airspace blocks, or FABs. These sectors are organized on the basis of efficiency targets, not member state borders. Total air traffic control costs in 2011 amounted to an estimated €14 billion. Bo Radeborn of Eurocontrol says Single European Sky is not a cure-all, but eventually reducing to 9 zones from 29 the number of major air traffic control centers is a good start.
I think the whole notion of FAB has actually delivered a lot. It has forced providers to cooperate. We have managed to straighten out the route network. It's very little extra route you have to fly. We have introduced free route airspace, which basically means that when you get up to cruising level, you fly direct.
Civil society groups believe a truly single European airspace could greatly cut flight times, thus saving EU citizens about €920 million, as well as reduce carbon emissions by 12%. Additional fuel costs and flying times from inefficient routing cost nearly €4 billion in 2011. The EPP Group's Marian-Jean Marinescu agrees the economics of a single sky are persuasive.
We need a new architecture of the airspace, which means that the traffic control center, to be very efficient, should control the flights, doesn't matter the borders around. Yeah? Only a piece of the sky. Yeah? So this means at the end Single European Sky.
It's like a Schengen in the sky, isn't it?
It's like a Schengen on the sky. Yes. Yeah, you are right. We do not have borders on the ground. We still have it on the sky.
Meanwhile, Eurocontrol's Bo Radeborn says no more time can afford to be lost to the next man-made or natural disaster, such as a volcano.
The real challenge here is to reduced the impact on cancelling flight and reducing the number of flights to a level that is on the safe side. So I think we have the grips on the safety, but we still need to improve the way we react to these kind of things so that we find workarounds and can actually move people and continue travel to the extent possible without jeopardizing safety, and that's where we focus.
Of course, control over one's airspace means power and revenues, things that member states have fought for as strongly as they did and do on behalf of their national champion airlines.
I believe that the best way around this is to sort of accept that this is a fact and then find technical solution to centralize functions, services, and actually distributing the controller working position and leave them where they are, and then if need be, you sort of put all the new ones at the places you like them to be in the future, and then eventually you will have this consolidation.
Another huge potential stumbling block is the member state monopolies which currently control air traffic management in the EU 28. French air traffic controllers went on strike in June 2013, insisting Single European Sky would violate national sovereignty and lead to less efficiencies and more work for controllers if EU predictions of a tripling in capacity were to come true. The challenge in breaking national fiefdoms and old ways of thinking is enormous, says Marinescu.
When you provide a law, when you build a law, you have to think to everybody involved or affected by the law, which means persons and companies. So you have to think to the people from the ground, all the industry on the ground, but which are, I don't know, maybe 200,000 all over Europe. But you have to think in the same time to the passengers, that there are 600 million per year. So you have to do something that it's positive, it's good for everybody. So these are the advantages of the Single European Sky.
Concerning traffic flows, faster A to B routing for fuel efficiency rather than national borders as the benchmark means the big winners are passengers and the environment.
First of all, will win even the ground industry, the industry on the ground, the traffic control and everybody, because they will be equipped with new technology, modern technology, which means safety, more safety. In the same time, for the passengers, could mean 15 minutes at a medium flight of 2 hours, less flight.
Those challenges are enormous. The 26,000 flights a day are expected to double around Europe by 2020. And the cost of holding on to all those flight control centers amounts to several billion euros more per year than other similarly sized air traffic systems around the world. The current setup is simply not sustainable.
It's an old maxim that once planes take off, it's ultimately the authority of the pilot to make sure they get back on the ground safely. Meanwhile, Single European Sky will protect the air industry and its passengers in a faster, cleaner, and safer way while they're still up there. Find out more about the activities of Parliament's largest political force by going to eppgroup.eu. Thanks for looking in, and see you again soon.